It says we're live. Hey everyone, it is Amanda. We're talking at the same time. We're both really excited. Hi everyone. Okay, so Andrea, say hi to the people. I'm going to look on the watch page and make sure that everything's working properly.
Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. We have, gosh, what was the final count?
1,721 when I looked about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, seven's my good number this year. Okay, so over 1,700 people registered for this vision board party tonight. And so the cool thing about that is that we have the Facebook page going. If you guys want to have conversations with each other, if you guys want to look for, friends that you guys can share your boards together, that maybe you look for an accountability friendship, a mastermind friendship, so that you guys can really bring these visions into your life in 2017. It's going to be a ridiculously incredible year, but I want to just start off and let you guys know that if you have little kids around you, please put your headphones in, because Amanda and I are just going to show up as ourselves, and oftentimes words fall out of our mouth that you may not want a small child hearing and then repeating. So you have officially been warned.
Yeah, we're going to say fuck a lot. So yeah.
Hopefully you guys got your headphones in fast enough.
Sorry. Yeah, their kid says fuck tomorrow, and they're like, damn it, Amanda. Okay, so
I keep this in my drawer.
You have a parental advisory warning. Is this not the funnest party of the year? How is it possible that it's been 1 year since we did this last time?
It seems insane. Like, I can't even just comprehend all the stuff that's happened in the last 12 months. But this year, I'm always excited about a new year. It's a fresh slate. But 2017, for the last 6 months, I've been saying is gonna be an epic year. And that was before I understood like the numerology behind it. And I just have such good feelings about this year for a lot of people. So I'm crazy excited about tonight.
I'm crazy excited too. So, okay, tonight's going to be pretty free-flowing. Andrea and I have different things we want to talk about. I mean, obviously, we both consider ourselves like experts around manifesting our dreams, getting clear on what we want, and the way I say it is designing lives and businesses we're wildly obsessed with. So we both have created these lives and businesses full of travel, full of adventure, full of friendship and connection and partnership, and the lives we both dreamed of a few years ago. Like, the life I live now is so much different than the life I first started trying to manifest, but it's come true as I've done the work and as I've applied the steps and the principles that we're gonna go over with you tonight. So we're both gonna share stories. We both have things we want to say, but we're also going to take a lot of Q&A. So there's a comment box below the video. Like right now, we already have a ton of comments. And every time there's just a lull or whatever, or we're between things, I'll just shout out the question and one of us will answer it. So keep commenting, and yeah, let's have fun.
I'm going to go open the comment box because I need to read them too. I'm so excited.
Do you have it? Do you want me to send it to you, or do you got it?
I should have it. I have the website.
Okay. Yay.
Okay, so can I start by sharing my vision board that I just made, because I'm so excited?
Yes, start with
Okay, so I made 2 vision boards. One of them is kind of like my 2017, this is stuff that I really want to focus on this year. And I think I'm also going to redo it in physical form. I usually do digital and then I just frame it and hang it on my wall. But this year I want to do a big whole situation. So I'm going to do it twice. So I'll show you guys what I made. But the one I want to show you that I'm most excited about is I created my dream home vision board. And I've always had this kind of idea. But over the past 5 years, as my business has grown, as my belief has grown in what I can accomplish, that dream has just gotten really specific and a whole lot bigger. So I want to share my screen with you guys. It's going to look weird for a second. Let's see. I'm just going to share my entire screen like that. And it's, hold on. I just want to make sure you guys don't get distracted because I have a bunch of stuff on my desktop right now. Okay.
Just a sign of a creative person.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say that. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the creative in me.
Just the creative in you. That's fine.
Anybody who's incredibly particular. You look back at Amanda and all her shoes are in alignment, but
that is how I do things. Do you see it's all Louboutins and Chanel over there. Because I'm traveling right now. So I'm not traveling with decor. So my decor is shoes.
No, I decorate with stuff like that. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
My first pair of Louboutins that I ever bought get displayed in my office, and I hardly ever wear them. Not because I don't love them and don't want to wear them, but because they're just they just remind me of a particular point in my business where I could, finally go spend money like that, and it didn't hurt, and it just means so much, especially considering where we started. So yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. It's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So I just created this today, and I'm completely wildly obsessed with every detail in this picture. And all I did was go to Pinterest, and I just started searching through pictures and just finding things that really lit my soul on fire. And it all started with this closet over here on the left. I think this was it's from InStyle magazine, and I somehow caught that in probably my Facebook newsfeed or something, I'm not sure, not that long ago. And so I printed it and I taped it and I put it on the door to my current closet. It really annoys my husband. He's like, I don't want that closet. And I was like, honey, this isn't for you.
Yeah, you're going to have your own, and it's going to be next to mine, and we're not going to share. Thank you.
You're so cute that you thought we would share.
Jeremy, we love him. Okay.
So it started with this closet, and that was kind of like this inspiration of, oh my gosh, I just want to walk into this beautiful place. And I know that we're talking about things right now, but when you think about the way that you want to dress yourself, it really does affect how you feel. And so for me, 90% of the time, I want to be sitting very, very comfortably in workout clothes. And that is pretty much what I live in. But I also want to be able to put very pretty things. And even if it's something comfortable that I'm going to relax in, I want it to be very soft and feminine, very comfortable. And so I love the idea of having this really beautiful feminine closet where I could go in, and that could just be my space. And I love that there's just this perfect chair right there. And I'm like, that would totally be me to just grab a book and go sit in my closet.
Yeah, with all the pretty shoes around you. I'm totally feeling you, boo.
Yes, yes. But my dream has always been to live by the water. I always thought that would be probably California. I'm thinking probably now Florida. But my entire life, I've always been drawn to the water. I think it's just like the free spirit in me. And that really aligns with some of my words of the year for 2017. So last year, at the end of the year, I hosted a retreat for some of the top producers on my coaching team. And we rented this gorgeous house in Pensacola, Florida. I fell in love, and my husband and I just committed, we're going to buy that house or something better. And Amanda, being the most insanely cool friend ever, sent me this. She was there with us. I had her come in and speak to the girls and do some teaching, talking about manifesting, talking about goal setting with them. And she sent me this lovely gift after, and it's a bracelet with the coordinates of the beach home on the bracelet, and on the inside it has inscribed "this or better." And so I wear that every day. Literally the only time I take it off is when I'm getting a spray tan, and then it goes right back on. Because every time I look down at it, it's this trigger of what I truly desire. And for me, I want to wake up in the space that's just represents freedom, this very free spirit. Water is ever flowing. It's vast. And I really love the lightness of the beach. I'm all about just bringing in a ton of natural light into my home. It energizes me. I'm not one of those people that can be in, cloudy weather or darkness for a long time. I've told my husband our entire marriage, he's Army. I said, if you ever get sent to Alaska, you're probably going to have to go alone, because I don't think emotionally I would survive. I really, really need a ton of natural light. And I didn't know how badly I needed it until I moved away from Seattle, which is where I grew up, which is very, very overcast all the time. And I didn't realize how much it affected me and how much more motivated I am when I get a tremendous amount of sunlight and natural light. So this whole house is all built around how I want to feel every day. And maybe each element in here isn't exactly what it's going to look like someday, but it just represents that light airiness, and it also represents hard work and to me, really helping a lot of people, because I'm in business for myself. And so my income is a reflection of the number of people that I serve.
Right.
And do in a really good way. So this picture right here, you guys, has me in all sorts of ways right now.
Yeah, but that's what we need to hear, because that's the most important part. I mean, yes, I totally like wanting to be near water, wanting the light to stream in, wanting to chill in your workout clothes. But like, as we know, like the first step of manifesting, not the first step is getting clear on what you want. But one of the very important steps is feeling like it's already yours. So tell us like the feelings, like the strong feelings that come up for you when you see that vision board.
So the cool thing is that because we already stayed in a beach home in the area that we probably are going to live, that has kind of the same vibrations of the house that I want, a little bit different, but very, very close. I can already just go back to that memory and that feeling of sitting on the porch with you guys and being there with my girlfriends and the memories that we made there together. And that's the other thing for me, is I need a big home because I love community. I love bringing people together. I love intimate moments with people. The introvert in me isn't shy, but I need like intimacy with my close friends. And so that represents that close intimacy that I know is going to take place in a home like that, where I'll have my friends, I'll have my kids, I'll have my freaking grandkids. And that right there, like, you could totally pull a tear out of my eye, and you know I'm not a crier.
No, totally. So it feels like connection. It feels like intimacy. It feels like freedom.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yes. So good. So good. I love it. Okay, so I'm trying to think. I mean, I have a vision board I can share, but I'm trying to decide if I want to teach a little bit first. Okay, let's give some vision board 101 stuff, right? Okay, so if you saw the party last, you're going to hear us repeat ourselves a little bit, but let's just make sure all the bases are covered for the new people. So like, okay, so it doesn't matter if you make it on paper. It doesn't matter if you make it digitally. Below the video, Andrea made us an amazing training on how to make a digital vision board, and she shows you how to use a free tool called PicMonkey to pull your images off the internet and then make your own board like digitally, and it can be the background on your computer. I have a vision board that's the background on my phone. I mean, and we'll tell you more about things like this. Like, one thing about vision boards that is amazing is they work with our subconscious mind. So we create this image that brings out certain feelings in us, and every time our eyes see it, something in our brain, I don't even know how to explain it, tries to connect the dots. Something in our brain tries to connect the dots of how to get us there, because we have set the intention to make that our own. Does that make sense? So that's like kind of one of the, and me and Andrea are both way more practical than just that. We make strategic effort, we ask for guidance, we take action to make our dreams come true. But we're also utilizing things like the back of our phone, like the back of my phone right now. One of the screens is the car I'm buying. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. One of the screens is the car I'm buying, and one of the screens is my Manifest Demand vision board. So there's my car on that screen, and there's my Manifest Demand vision board. Hold on, wait. My thumbprint's not opening up on this screen, right? So it's like I'm going to obviously do any inner work I need to do around why I don't believe I can have that car, why I don't believe I can have the relationship I want. I'm going to do inner work around knowing that I'm worthy of the things I want. I'm going to take practical steps every day, like smiling at men or going to the car dealership and taking a test drive, right? I'm going to do my part, but I also just keep it in my mind's eye in subconscious ways. Does that make sense? So you decide what you want, you find images that invoke feeling, and you place it around your world. Would you agree with me, friend?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think about, you know, little things like, okay, for example, this house. So this has kind of been an evolution of me, you know, deciding what it is that I want. So this is going to be the dream home that we'll build after my husband retires from the Army, but we're about to move. The Army's moving us to Miami. And so it's funny because my husband pulls up and he's like, hey babe, come check out this house. And it's like the mini version of this. And just the night before, I was really saying like, okay, I want light, I want open, I want airy. We're going to be in Miami. Obviously, like we can, maybe we're not going to be on the beach, but maybe we'll have waterfront. And so he pulls up this place and it's like floor to ceiling windows up 3 levels, I think. In this beautiful house, there's like nothing but windows on the front of the house. And just this like white, beautiful open kitchen, open floor plan. And then of course, when you look out, there's like this small, it's a small body of water, but I'm not sure if it's like a pond or whatever you would call it. It's not a lake for sure. But anyway, so it's like the fraction, it's like,
It's simple.
It's a step. It's like getting me there.
Yeah.
So, but all the places that we had looked before, I was kind of in this frustrated state of like, oh my gosh, we got to find something decent. And then finally the night before I was like, okay, this is what I want. And I just sat with it for a little bit. And then the next day, Jeremy pulls up this one particular link and I was like, okay, now we're on to something. This or better, this or better, this or better. And have found some incredible properties since then. But it's really just sometimes if you feel like the dream is too big, you can start to lead yourself up to it. But the way that the subconscious mind works is when you have this knowing, for example, you have this knowing of how to get from, your home to work. And if you are in your car driving to work, you don't have to think about the directions. Your subconscious is driving the bus. You don't have to think about tying your shoe. Your subconscious is driving the bus. So when you're constantly creating the vision that you want subconsciously, your subconscious is always making decisions without you even realizing it, moving you towards these things that you already say that you want or believe that you can have.
I agree completely. Yeah. And then you experience beautiful synchronicity like you are right now. You say you want to go to Florida. Well, now you have to go to Florida. It's not exactly where you want, but it's close to what you want, right? And you say you want this kind of house. You're maybe not completely behind the house, but you're finding houses a lot like it. Like it's all adding up. It's all getting you closer and closer and closer. Just kind of amazing.
Exactly. And we've never even talked about Florida being on the kind of list as far as where the Army would ever send us. It's always been like either here in Arizona or maybe Kentucky or Virginia, based off of my husband's job. And then as soon as we both committed that we really eventually wanted to move to Florida, we're probably looking into investment property. Within 2 months, all of a sudden it came up, this spot in Miami was open. And so it's just like one spot or one little step closer.
Yeah, so good. So good. It's so good. So good. Okay. So yeah. So you're going to, this is kind of my process for doing this. So like we're saying, you get clear, you decide on what you want. Your best bet at success is to not pick something that takes you out. Like I was doing an interview with a girl in my Money Mentality Makeover course today. And she was talking about how her first goal in the course was a $4,000 a month. And yes, she would have liked it to be a $100,000 a month, but she couldn't energetically get behind that. She picked something that seemed a little bit unreachable, a little bit like God would have to do the heavy lifting, but not something that energetically took her out or freaked her out, right? So you pick your goals based on something that you can get your faith behind. You believe it's possible, but you don't necessarily know how it's going to come, right? And then you put it on a board, you put it on the back of your phone, you put it in your mind's eye, you place it around. And then I think a really important part is feeling the feelings of it already being yours every single day. Every single motherfucking day, take a minute to feel a moment of it already being yours. And when you feel like it's yours, you're vibing with it, right? You're becoming an energetic match for it. You're vibing at the same frequency as it. And in that sort of way, it can be magnetized into your life, right? So, and then from there, I also want to speed it up. I don't want the things I'm manifesting to come in 10 years. So then I'm always feeling the feelings of it being mine and saying, God, how are we going to get this to me? I'm willing to do my part. What is my part? And I pay a lot of attention to my intuition, to the guidance inside me, to any nudge or hunch or urge, because those are always my strategic actions. And it's really funny how one little strategic action can really bring in a massive thing into your life.
So here's what I'm experiencing right now with my coaching team a lot, and maybe you can give your perspective, is some people finish the year and they're like, oh my gosh, the best year ever. I'm so excited. 2017 is going to be amazing. And then other people have finished the year and they said, oh my gosh, I set this big goal. I didn't hit it. Like, why bother trying again? You know, if I didn't hit it last year, I probably won't hit it this year. And it really just demoralized them. So what would you say to someone who missed a big goal about setting it back on their vision board again?
I mean, this is just how I work. When I decide that something is mine, I decide that something is mine, right? And I do set a deadline, I do set a goal, but in my opinion, it's not faith. It's not me really truly believing that the desires of my heart were placed by the divine and they're in my heart to be mine. I haven't even activated my faith. I haven't really even gotten onto the frequency of it yet until it looks like it doesn't happen. It looks like it didn't happen and I still believe. So meaning if I set a December 31st goal, I'm going to wake up on January 1st still believing. I cannot tell you how many times that has been what's happened with my monthly goals or my quarterly goals or whatever, that it doesn't look like it happened on time. But in the midnight hour, in that last hour at 11 p.m. when the cart closes on midnight, that's when the magic always comes for me. But I never go into it didn't happen. I stay in it happened, it happened, it happened, it happened. And you can actually speak to this because you were with me as the cart was closing for my holiday bundle. And I was trying to hit $500,000 for the year. And it looked like I wasn't going to. I was $11,000 short the day of. It looked like I was not going to hit it. It looked like there was no way in hell. And you are a testament for, I mean, every time it crossed my mind, you were like, yeah, you've got it. And I was like, yeah, it's totally mine. And even when it was hard to believe it, I believe until the end. I just think that's how we activate faith. That's how we activate power. That's how we co-create with the universe. Like I've said it before, but surrender doesn't mean that we stop believing. Surrender doesn't mean that we give up. Surrender is that we say, God, how would you have me do this? I'm willing to do my part. Surrender isn't, oh, it looks like it's not meant for me. I hate that shit. You have power. Stay connected to your power. Sorry, tangent.
No, okay. So a couple things that I want to play off of from what you said too is, okay, specifically on that day when you were $11,000 away from your goal. So what we kept doing throughout the day is saying like, okay, 3,000. And then as soon as we hit 3,000, we'd like party in the room and like dance and then we're like, okay, 5,000. And then we'd party for 5,000 and it was always this or better. And then it was 7,000. And then we were partying and like celebrating 7,000. And then at the end of the night, we're like celebrating. Then we just walked away and we're like, whatever, it's happening. And by the end of the night,
at some point we stopped looking. At some point we stopped looking and we enjoyed New Year's. Of course we did, right? Because we've been in business long enough to know that like it doesn't matter how successful you are if you're not enjoying your life, right? So I sent out my emails. I posted on Facebook. I did my part. I definitely had a countdown going in the notes section of my phone where at the end of every night for those last 5 nights, I was seeing how far away I was. And then throughout the day, I was seeing how far away I was. I mean, I was doing... Yeah, we were staying excited. We were watching you get closer and closer and closer and closer. And then at some point you do just let it go and know it's yours, you know? Like there's definitely something to that, right?
Right. And then the other thing is too, is when you set a goal for yourself, as soon as you decide it's not going to happen, you close yourself off from inspiration. The ideas stop flowing and your ideas start going to other things that you do believe is possible. So and here's also the thing with deadlines and goals is just because the deadline changes doesn't mean the goal should. And so maybe the deadline goes from December 2016 to January 2017. If you're 30 days off from a goal that you've been working towards for a year, do you still lose? Like to me.
No, I know. Yes, I agree. I've had that experience before. So say I finished bringing in the money the next month or the next week or the next quarter, that would have been fine. but I just knew in my heart that the thing I had worked for 365 days was mine. And it didn't even look like it was mine at midnight that night. I mean, I woke up the next day and on PayPal, it looked like I was a little bit short because I had forgotten to add in some other payments that came in outside of PayPal throughout the year, right? But like, even when it looked like it didn't happen, I still felt like it had happened, right? Like, because I was really clear on what I wanted,
Right. You take such faithful, consistent action. And that's where I see people start to fall off, is they set these goals in January. They don't have any kind of checks and measures throughout the year. It sounds nice because everybody else wants it. Everybody else puts it on their vision board. It looks beautiful. It would be nice if, but if you're not also willing to do the work that's in alignment with that goal, you have to do a priorities check. Did you really want it that bad in the first place? Yeah. Or is there shit that you have to clear off your plate? Because we can only focus on so many things and do it really, really, really well. So if you're this compulsive person, like I can be, talking to myself, and you look at your vision board and you're like, okay, I want to do this and I want to do this, and you have now 80 different goals for the first quarter of the year, you're not going to do any of them really well. Where your focus goes, energy flows. Yeah. So you're so good at taking like this one thing and just going hard at it and taking consistent action, which is a huge reason. And even if you had gotten to the end of the year and it had been 490,000 instead of 500, I'm a rounder. I'm like, fucking it was.
No, I was not gonna say on the Facebooks that I made 500,000 unless I made 500,000. That's just like my whole thing. Since I teach on money, I just feel like I have to be real about numbers. I mean, no, there was going to be no rounding.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you would go lie about it, but I'm just saying, like, I would still feel accomplished. Like, I hit that goal, dude. I'm like, close enough, guys.
No, it wouldn't have been a bad year. You're right. And my coach said that to me. She's like, Amanda, isn't like $489,000 like still like really good? Because didn't you make like 171 last year? I was like, I mean, yeah, it's not bad, but that wasn't the point for me. The point was that I was going to practice what I would preach, and I was going to hold my faith until the end. And I wouldn't have beat myself up if I didn't make it. I mean, nothing like that, but I was going to do everything I knew in my power till the end. And like you're saying, I think one of my strengths is I focus on one thing at a time. I don't focus on 10,000 things at a time, right? Like, last year was the year, for example, of getting all 4 courses out in 1 year. Last year was the year of getting all 4 of my digital courses on my membership site. Last year was the year of creating 3-part trainings for each course. Like, there was a theme to the year. It was getting all my courses ready so 2017 is easier. But not every year, but every month of my life, every week of my life, every section of my life, there's one thing. Does that make sense? And it's not that there's not other things going on in the background, but there's one thing that I don't actually believe I can have, that I'm putting my effort toward changing my thoughts and beliefs around, and I'm putting my heart behind. And as you kind of master one area, you get to move to another area, but I think it's really hard to focus on too many things at once. I think we have a hard time succeeding that way.
Absolutely. And the hardest thing is when you have to say no to really, really good stuff. Like, there's so many great ideas, especially if you're in business for yourself, or maybe even if you're a stay-at-home mom. Like, there's all these great ideas. Maybe you want to have the most beautiful Pinterest account, or maybe you want to have a course and a podcast and, a jewelry business and this kind of, like, if you're in business for yourself, there's some part of you that's a creative. And so it's so hard because over here, this might be a really good idea, but sometimes we have to say no to good so that we can have great. That's something that I was listening to on a webinar yesterday with Elizabeth Gilbert, the author. And it just like really hit me, because that's my problem. It's like, all this stuff is really, really good. But the hardest part for me to be able to have the thing that I want the most, I have to give up the good in order to have the great. And so you guys have to be willing to say no to shit, even if it's really, really, really good shit.
Yeah, and it might be good shit that's not right for you, right? Like, yes. I mean, I see this all the time. Yeah, or yeah, not right now. I see brand new coaches all the time who want to be authors and speakers and coaches and course creators, and they can do it all. But what do you want most right now? And not just what do you want most right now, what are you the most excited about right now? Because the thing you're the most excited about right now that lights you up the most right now is the thing you can get your faith and energy behind, right? And that's going to be the most potent and the most powerful. And people always go, I'm supposed to coach first. I'm supposed to do courses first. I'm supposed to do and there's no supposed to. There's the thing that feels really good to you that you feel led to do, right? There's the thing that you want, and our desires, our heartfelt desires, are safe guidance. And I always think being really clear on what you want, no matter if it's practical or logical or what anyone else thinks, being clear on what you want and going for that thing is always, for me, the path of least resistance and the way to manifest the most quickly, right? Because if you're this year going to do coaching, because so next year you're going to do courses or whatever it is for you. If this year you're going to do anything, so next year you can do that other thing. I really don't believe in means to an end. I really not believe in focusing on what you motherfucking want. Means to an end, like, for example, when I was in a PhD program and I was going to finish my PhD program so I could have DrAmandaFrancis.com and do the exact same work I was doing now. And I eventually went, wait, that PhD is not going to help me do what I want to do. Fuck, I'm not going to do it as a means to an end. I'm just not. I don't think that's how life has to be. Unless getting a PhD lights your soul on the inside, which it did not for me. It made me want to die. Anyway.
I think some people start out that way with it lighting their soul up, and then by the end they do want to die.
I made a really big mistake because I knew better, and the first day, the day of the interview, the day of the acceptance letter, the day of the orientation, I didn't want to be there. So I was overriding my heart from day one, right? But yes, we all have to follow our hearts, of course. Oh my God, we have so many questions. Do you care if I start throwing some out, or do you have something you want to say?
I have one thing that I want to say, and then let's take a question. What I really loved about what you said about being excited and letting kind of your desire lead you. And I think we've all been there. You guys can all look back, just like close your eyes with me and let's do this right now. Look back and think at a time where you made a decision and in your gut, in the beginning, you knew it was wrong and you did it anyway. Did you meet a ton of resistance? Did it feel good? Did you accomplish it? You could have accomplished it in two different ways. A hard way, which was the way full of resistance, doing it when you knew it wasn't the right time, or waiting till a different point. So you guys have probably had two types of experiences where you did something that you did truly desire, and everything, like all the pieces just naturally fell together really beautifully for you. You probably had both experiences at some point in your life. The one that was full of resistance, frustration, you may have hit the goal, and you may have been happy you hit the goal, but the journey was rough. That was the first 2 years in my business.
Yeah.
And then the third and fourth and then fifth year in business was the really letting my true desires, guide and dictate how I was going to make decisions, and everything just fell together so beautifully. And so when you guys have this excitement and desire really connected to what you're already doing, you already have this self-imposed sense of urgency to do this shit now. And for me, productivity is something that maybe I do have a lot of different, plates moving at once, but I'm a productive motherfucker. I get a lot of shit done. And so I think my secret to that is I go with what I'm most excited about right now, because I have this burning sense of urgency to do my shit right at the second. Nobody can get in my way. If you came into my office when I'm working on such said project, you would not even be able to break through my conscious mind. I would be typing on my computer. I would be doodling out notes. I would not even notice that you were in the room, because I have this passionate, desire-filled sense of urgency to do shit now. And so that's been a huge secret for me to just be incredibly productive with moving towards my goals.
Yes, I agree 1,000,000%. And here's the other thing that the mistake people make with that, when they set a goal and inspiration comes and passion comes, and they don't move. I think you and I both move in that moment. We don't hope the inspiration's there tomorrow. We move in the moment. So then later, if the inspiration leaves, we have some momentum. It's okay if the inspiration wanes a little bit. We've started, right? The day we had the idea for the vision board party last year, You messaged me in the morning. I said yes within 10 seconds. We built the sign up page that day and we started advertising it. I mean, and because we were both excited, why would we do it any other way? And we
Right.
both have that freedom, being people who have quit everything besides working for ourselves. But I mean, I wasn't a whole lot different when I was nannying full-time and in a grad school full-time. I was acting a whole lot like this. I had the idea to be a life coach, and I stayed up all night that night learning how to build a website. You know what I mean? I let my inspiration carry me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel let's take some questions.
Okay, girlfriend. Okay, Sarah wants to know, how has your vision changed over time? Do you want to go first?
Oh my gosh, that's like a really open-ended question. I think it's just grown. So in the beginning, I was working with the beliefs that I currently had, especially when I started goal setting. And I didn't really ever set an intentional goal. Maybe I did in high school. Like I, wanted to be a gymnast. And so I set, goals for myself in certain areas. But in my adult life, I had never really just sat down and said, okay, I'm going to, set this goal. A New Year's resolution. It was just like a very loose resolution that fell out of my mouth on January 1st. I never really put any intention behind it. I never, broke it down. I never checked in for myself. But as I started to be very intentional about goal setting and really creating a vision for myself, I was working with the beliefs of what do I believe that I can have now or within the next 12 months. In the beginning, my vision that I have today wouldn't have compared. Before, it was just like, I want a kitchen big enough to not trip over my kids and my dog. Like we lived in, my counter space was about the same size of my desk in my office right now in my kitchen. It was tiny. We lived in this small little townhouse in DC. And I just wanted to be able to take my kids on a vacation. So I set this goal that I was going to earn the vacation that Beachbody was offering their leaders in the next coming year, and I was going to take my kids to Disney World. We had never done a big family vacation before like that. And so that was the biggest thing for me, is like, man, if I could take my kids on one vacation a year, and now I travel like 3 times a month. Like I would have never imagined before, I could just get on a plane once a week. Just because just because Amanda calls me and
that may or may not have happened. Yeah.
It's just evolved and grown based off of what I believe that I can have now. And because I started believing in myself, my confidence started growing, which means that the people that I started networking with started to change. I was putting myself in different circles where I could learn from other people. And I'm like, oh, wait. They do life this way. That kind of sounds rad. Let me do life that way. And so that would be the next goal. And then I'd put myself into a new circle. And then all of a sudden I'm in the circle of people. I remember sitting at a lunch in New York with some friends, and one of the girls that we're talking to, the word $1 billion company fell out of her mouth. And I was just like, I cannot, like, how is this my life that I'm talking with people that are like, yeah, I'm going to own $1 billion company in X number of years. And I'm like, to me, that doesn't even sound fun. Like my heart doesn't even desire anything remotely that large. That sounds more like bondage to me. But like, it was just crazy how much, as your circles of influences start to change, as you start to learn from other people, as you're able to experience new things in a different way. I remember very distinctly this moment, maybe 4 years ago, where I said, I will never spend $3,000 on a purse. and then last year I bought like three $3,000 purses.
Yeah. I've had the same experience. I mean, I'm not asking for things that are a whole lot different. And like, okay, so in the money course, I teach like incremental upgrades. Like the number you can get your heart around today will not be the number you can get your heart around next month, because once you achieve that number a few times, it's easy to go to the next level, right? And so like once upon a time, it took all I had to want the 5-figure month. And then I remember wanting the 5-figure day, right? And it took all I had to think I could have a 6-figure year, then a 6-figure launch. And now I can really get my head and heart around a 6-figure month, but it's been incremental. I've been growing it over time. So like, and I once upon a time, I just wanted to be able to travel to New York from time to time, not to like Paris or Europe or Asia, or, you know, in the past 5 months, I've been to Bali and Thailand and Spain and Greece and Mexico and Laguna and New York and Pensacola and Sedona, right? In 5 months. And once upon a time, I would have been really, really happy to travel once a quarter. So I just keep expanding it and I keep growing it. But I think from the beginning, I was clear on what kind of life I wanted. I wanted a life with amazing, badass women friends. I wanted travel. I wanted enough money to support myself. I wanted enough money to support others. I wanted enough money to be able to donate to organizations. I didn't want to ever have to say no because of money ever again. I didn't want to feel limited around money. I mean, it's been the same things forever. I just got clearer on how to do them, and then I increased them over time. And now I'm adding things in, like I want a house. Like, I mean, last year we were talking about how I wanted 4 houses, and I still want 4 houses. That's not any different, but now I can actually see myself buying the first one. So it's just getting closer to the long-term dreams and expanding the present day dreams, you know, as I go. That's all that's changed for me, really.
Looking back, I realized like I was unknowingly using the incremental strategy, but I also talk a lot about money and the things that we've been able to buy, whether it be travel or items or maybe a dream home someday that, you know, we plan to purchase. But really the money was never the big goal for me. It was the process and it was the journey, because what you were saying, especially like being able to surround yourself with like badass women, for me, success, and this is why I gave you guys that worksheet. For you guys have a worksheet that helps you determine your word of the year, and then what does success look and feel like for you.
Yeah,
and
it's on there. It's right under your video. It's the very first button, right, is the success worksheet.
Right. So I want you guys to fill that out, because that's not something that you have to wait for 5 years to be earning a 6-figure income or to have certain things to be able to feel, to be able to have. For me, success is a feeling, success is an environment, success is a relationship. Money is just the tool to get me to where I want to go, whether that be having dinner with you on a Friday just because or whatever. And so for me, when I define success, it's like being surrounded by, when I can close my eyes and I can see this so clearly because I've done it over and over and over and over for years. It's me having that close, intimate conversation with people where we are dreaming up concepts that can truly make an impact on another human being. And I used to be really like leery about the word sales. Like, it's very icky. It just reminded me of this door-to-door vacuum salesman. You guys remember from when you were little kids, probably, just the people that would come to your door and be like, please buy my shit, please buy my shit, please buy my shit. And then I had this like very different experience of, oh my gosh, if I get this item in this person's hands, this is the result that they can get, and it can be transformative. And I became addicted to transformation, and I built my entire career on helping people have transformations, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's like a mindset, whether it's financial, it doesn't matter. And so I get to, success to me is waking up every day and being able to have that transformation for myself and my own life and my family, but then also being able to give it away. And so the money's been the byproduct of waking up and having that dream to empower and elevate other people and help them create some kind of beautiful transformation in their life.
Amen, sister. Yeah, and some of you have heard me say this, but this is one of my favorite Amanda Frances quotes. Money is not good or bad. Money is a neutral resource that you can choose to use for your good. Like, I think we really have to let go of this whole thing that money makes us greedy or money makes us selfish. Money is just a tool. Money is just a resource. Money is just something to design whatever kind of life you want, to support whatever you believe in, to take care of your kids in the best way possible. It is just a tool. It does not make you bad, does not make you greedy, it does not make you anything, does not make you a bitch. And when you let go of a lot of those ideas, which we have a question about that maybe I'll just kind of flow into now. When you let go of those ideas that money is the root of all evil, or that money has some kind of negative effect of who you are, and we determine that's not true, and you define what money means for you, and it's so really my premise around money is connecting money to purpose and connecting money to meaning. So when I manifest a number, when I set a huge goal for a month, it's really not about the number, though the number is a great symbol and a great way to measure. It's really about, for me, what that amount is going to enable me to do in my life and my business, how I'm going to pay my people, the kind of team I have around me, the kind of investments I can make in, you know, like upgrades in my personal life, upgrades in my business. It's always, and I'm always very clear on how many people are affected, how many people did I support if I'm able to get to that number, right? Because, I mean, we all have different business models, but like one of my main things in business is I give free content every day, a ton of free content. I want to be on Facebook Live. I want to be vlogging. I want to be giving you quotes and affirmations and teachings all the time. And I allow myself to do that by making money in these other ways, right? Then I have the time and the freedom to do that. And I can hire the people to help me do that, to grow my online presence massively so that, you know, someday I can serve hundreds of thousands of people, even if a small fraction of that are the ones paying me. So, you know what I'm saying? The vision is so much bigger than just money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I just want to make sure everybody caught what you were saying in the beginning. That was something that I really, really cling to and picked up on, and I love about probably the way that we built both of our businesses even before we knew each other. And that was that you set that number goal because you wanted to show your people what was possible. And so we both come from backgrounds of, you know, not having a ton of money. My parents were broke when I was a kid. I grew up in, you know, trust me, I was not the kid wearing brand shoes to school. It was like Payless or used or like whatever. So that was like my lifestyle growing up.
Walmart, baby. Hardcore. Lots of Walmart.
Right. Exactly. I know we're both like just cracking up over Jordache from when we were kids.
We were cracking up over Jordache.
Right. And that was expected to be, you know, the lifestyle that my kids were going to live too. And that's how they grew up until, you know, just 3 short years ago. We were 6 figures in debt. And for me, my transformation is lifting that weight of debt off of my relationships, because we all know that when you don't have a lot of money and when you have a lot of debt sitting on your shoulders, it can vary, especially in a marriage. It can very easily affect the relationships. And so for me to lift that weight of finances off was more about having a deeper and closer and more free-flowing relationship with my spouse and with my kids. But I also want to show people that it doesn't matter what resources you come from. It doesn't matter what background. I don't have a college degree. You know, growing up, before I had a teenage pregnancy, the guy who got me pregnant left me on the side of the street with nothing. Like literally I had to call my friend's mom to come get me off the side of the road and then go move back in with my mom. Very humbling experience. And thought that I was going to raise this baby by myself. It just so happens that my Prince Charming came back into the picture. My husband, who I'd been dating before, we got married, and we just had a great relationship, but it was just this debt continued to pile up on top of each other, student loans. Like I always knew I wanted to make something of myself. I didn't know that it would ever be something like this, but I just knew like I wanted to have a good career. I wanted to be ambitious. And so I would be willing to invest into education. And so that got us really far behind in debt and caused so much stress and frustration when it was paycheck to paycheck moments. And so I just wanted to be able to show people through my story that no matter what kind of baggage you have in your past, if you just make a decision and work in those incremental, you know, smaller goals, like Amanda was saying, you can completely change your life. If I can do it, trust me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. If we can do it, anyone can. Yeah, neither of us came from money in any kind of way. Okay, so we have so many questions. I'm going to try to start getting through them. How do you let go of doubt? How do you stay in faith of believing? So for me, yeah, it looks something like this. I identify the doubt. I'm like, okay, so what is the core limiting belief right now? I am not someone who can have this, or I am not someone who can make this, or I am not worthy of this, or this doesn't happen to someone like me, or whatever it is. I look at that limiting belief and I tell a new story around it. I do very kind of focused, strategic reworking of my mind. Like that's kind of my whole thing is let's change our mind, because when we're thinking different thoughts and feeling different feelings, we're going to be manifesting and vibrating at a new level, right? So I find the doubt, I find the limiting belief, and I tell a new story around it. So is it ultimately true that I am someone who could never be a 6-figure owner, a multiple 6-figure earner, a millionaire? Well, no, says who? Says motherfucking who? No, that is not true. So I tell a new story and I say something like, money is my birthright. Abundance is what I was born for. Earning is inevitable for me. I find, and if none of those speak to you, then those aren't the affirmation for you, but I create a new thought, a new belief around something I can get behind, something I can put my energy behind. And I say it and I talk about it and I feel it and I journal it out until I believe it. Like I literally reprogram, like I form a new neuro fucking pathway in my mind. I walk myself through thinking differently. And then every time that doubt comes up again, I have a new story to counteract it with. That's how I personally deal with my doubt.
I'm just looking for my notes from when we were in Pensacola, because you gave like a few really specific tips
On releasing doubt?
On releasing doubt.
You're so cute. Continue to look.
So you keep talking while I'm looking.
Okay, great.
Oh, wait.
Or did you find it?
Yep. Okay. So you specifically said, so this is the process of getting what you want, and then if something comes up too. So, okay. So the first question is, what do you want? How would it feel when you have it? And then the next question, which was my favorite, what are all the reasons that it won't work? And are they true?
Yes, that is literally how I manifest. I write down all the reasons that I don't believe I can have it. And I find a way to know that they're each a big fat motherfucking lie.
And then, so the next piece that I love to start reframing is that then you're now going to start to talk yourself into, you answer the question, why can this work? And then how does it benefit you, your family, and the world?
Yes. Every time I set a money goal, and that's what I mean by staying connected to meaning and staying connected to purpose, right? I set my goal, but I'm very aware how it's going to change my life, how it's going to change the life of those around me. And ripple effect, chain reaction, make the whole world a better place. Yes. So when Amanda says she's going to earn this or that or the other, it's really about a whole lot more than the number, right? And when you believe that something is of service, because women can't get behind things that they feel are greedy. Women can't get behind things they feel are selfish. We're not made that way. We're made to help others and connect, and we want to be good and we want to make a difference, right? But when you're very clear on how what you desire serves a lot more than just you, it all gets a lot easier.
And so I did that work specifically on a new project that I'm working on that I can't talk about yet, but initially I had some fear creeping up because I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be $1 million brand. I just know it. I have this knowing, but the money was not enough for me to get behind it. Like I knew so many people need this. So many people are going to want this. It's going to be great. It's going to sell like crazy, but I couldn't get behind it financially. And so once I went through this process and specifically did the work of how will it serve you, your family, and the world, all of a sudden I have this person in my head that I'm very, very close and intimate with, and I see her struggle. And I knew that if I can create this and it would lift that burden off of her, then it's worth, getting over myself, getting over the fear. And so now when I go back to that and I'm like, okay, I start to talk myself out of it again, because it's a big freaking creation. It's a big goal. I go back to her and I close my eyes and I think about her and I think about, okay, what would happen if I didn't show up for her?
Oh, girl. Yes, that's actually part of the homework in my Become a Life Coach course. That's one of the things. But the question is, what happens if she doesn't find you? What happens if you don't put yourself out there in such a way that she doesn't find you? That's how I always say it. Yeah, but I do believe that I'm responsible for showing up or not showing up for the people that I am here to help, right? And what happens if I don't continue to go big in such a way that everyone who needs me can find me, right? Or can't find me. Yeah. No, I'm so with you, sister. I love that you did that. So good. Okay. Yes, and about what you're saying about having that ideal customer in your head, the ideal client, or the person you're going to help. I think that's crucial no matter what business you're in. If you cannot just tie it to service, but tie it to a specific person, for me, that always makes a big difference, because then when those of you who work online like we do, because then when I'm writing online, I can write to them, I can speak to them, I can create for them, and it makes it a lot easier to know who you're writing to, right? Just like Littleton. Yeah. Okay, since business building does take time, do you recommend vision boards be for the immediate year, or should be there long-term goals on there as well that may take over a year to reach as you build? I've done both. I've had big, massive vision boards on my wall, and some were immediate and some were very long-term. And then typically the thing on my phone is very immediate. The thing on my phone is something I want to move into right now. And then the things on my wall might have a lot more different. It's really, you can't fuck this up. It's really what feels good to you, as long as you're clear on which ones are your now and which ones are your not now. You know, it's all about your intention.
And so one of the fun sheets that I think that we forgot to put up was one that we created last year. So you guys, if you did it last year, awesome, you'll get it again. We can send that email out after this, but it's teaching you how to take the goal and break it down. And this is something that I have really focused on a lot, and has increased my productivity in getting to my goals so much faster over the years. Is I take the big goal. Like, it's great to have an idea where you're going to be a year. I don't really generally go more than like a year-ish out, because I know that what I'm going to want 13 months from now is going to be vastly different. Like, my vision just changes so fast. There's certain things like the dream home. Obviously, someday I'm going to build a home, maybe several, who knows? I don't know. But the dream will probably just get bigger for me. But what I like to do is I like to take that kind of like 12-month vision. Where do I want to see myself in December? How would it feel? You know, who would I serve when I get there? And then I like to break it down into quarterly goals and then weekly check-ins. And so I need to know, okay, that's great that I have this vision to make, you know, maybe your vision is to make $50,000 by the end of the year. How much do you need to make a week? Who do you need to talk to? You know, like, who do you need to interview? What is it that you need to learn? Do you need to learn how to run Facebook ads? Do you need to talk to this person and interview them? Like, how are you going to put yourself out there? Like, what are you selling if you don't already know? So all that work has to be done right now. And then you have to be able to look at yourself and take it just 1 week at a time. And so for me, I can hustle for 7 days. I know where I'm going eventually 12 months from now, but sometimes I just need to look at between Monday and Sunday. What do I need to do this week, and just go hard? Because when I look at, you know, if I want to make $50,000 by the end of the year, that seems really big. And if you don't break it down and give yourself those checks and measures, you're not going to start pushing until September. And then you're going to feel defeated because you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do it now. Like, break it down into quarterly goals and say, okay, if I want to make $50,000, then I'm going to have to make, what is it, like 15 or 17, or I don't know, 12. 12, whatever. This number doesn't matter. How much do you need to make per quarter? And then break that down, and okay, what do I have to do every single week? So that's something that's really important that you guys, and it gives you this sense of, okay, if I only have to hustle for 7 days, I can do that, instead of feeling like you have this 100-pound weight loss goal that seems very daunting and that you'll never get there. But if you only have to, you run your business 7 days at a time, you guys will crush your goals.
Totally. Yeah. And then also, when you have that end of the year goal, and the first month has gone by and you didn't need what you didn't make, I think 50,000 is you need 4,500 a month. When the month goes by and you didn't make 4,500 the next month, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Still connected to the end, stay connected to the end goal. It doesn't mean you have to change the end goal. You can be aware of the fact that where you're at that moment didn't manifest the number that you wanted that month. That doesn't mean you can't double it in the future. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, know where you're at, know what needs to happen to get you there. And then for me, there's an element of like staying in the flow and still trusting even when it looks like it isn't gonna happen, right?
But here's the thing, if you guys love and you have that exciting energy behind it, you're not gonna stop anyway, because you're having so much fun in the creation part of whatever it is that you're working towards, that it doesn't matter if you were a little bit off or a lot off, because you're still enjoying the process. If you guys are not having any fucking fun, you're doing it wrong.
Totally. Yeah. No, this is fine.
Stop and reevaluate.
Okay. There's a question about removing blocks around money. I'm going to save that. Um, any tips for building a board with your partner? Do you and Jeremy manifest together? Do you have any tips for building a board with a partner or manifesting with a partner? How do you guys talk about goal setting together?
Yes. Okay, so we don't talk about every element that's on my vision board together, but in the beginning of my business, especially because I was still working full time, I needed his support. And so we looked and we said, okay, here's what we want. Our first big goal was to pay off our $100,000 worth of debt. That was a long vision goal. That was a long game. So we had to break that down together, and we had to look at it and say, okay, what is it that I need to be able to bring in more money? What is it that we need to be able to spend less money? What is it that we need to do to make sure these are getting paid and that we're checking on ourselves? So we made that goal together, and then we both were energetically behind it. If you guys are just trying to, especially when you're trying to build a business, like, he understood what me building a business meant for him as well as what it meant for me. I want him to have his incredible career through the military, and he wants me to have my amazing career. So we're both very, very satisfied in the work that we're doing in the world. But we also know, like, his career benefits me because we have awesome, health insurance. And I got to see the world. I didn't really see it in the beginning that way. It was terrifying for me being, 19, 20 years old when we decided that we were gonna get married. But he looks at my business in the beginning, it was like, okay, well, we could probably pay off this $100,000 worth of debt in our lifetime. Before, it would have been like, well, I hope we can pay it off before we have to leave that debt to our children, which was terrifying to both of us. So we were both behind it. And then he looked at me and said, what do you need from me? And I just looked at him and I said, I just need time. I have this full-time job. I want to be there for you and the kids, but I also have to build this business. I just need extra hours in the day. And he said, what can I take off your hands? And so he started folding the laundry. He started, cleaning up after dinner and just doing a lot of the things around the house that weren't going to help me build a business or make more money. And he took that off my hands. So, but we created that goal together, and he got behind it just as much as I did. So we're both excited and had that sense of urgency, and we're willing to do the work. And turns out he's way better at folding laundry than I am. Praise the Lord.
And I love that story because you got clear on what you wanted together as a couple. I mean, like you said, that you don't talk about every element of your business to him, right? Like, it's your business. But you got clear on your mutual goals, the vision you both could hold on to, and that's what you worked on together, like, practically. And then, like, right, spiritually and energetically, you have that and other things you're working on, but you had, like, a common vision together that you could both get behind. And right, men, have you noticed men love to save the day? They love to be needed. They love to be of service, right? So when he felt like he was doing something that made a difference to his woman, like a real difference, right, you found what that was for him.
Absolutely. And the first time I was speaking on stage, and we were talking about productivity, and I shared a little piece of that story, and I was like, and give a shout out to my husband for folding all the laundry. The entire crowd of women erupted in applause, and if you could have seen his face, he was like, yes, bring on the applause. Like, it was so cute.
No, we love Jeremy. When Andrea had me come speak about money to her, like, her team leaders at her retreat, let me tell you, this man makes all of our meals. He makes sure our wine glass is always full. He really does love to be of service.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
I know. I'm a big fan. Okay. So Jenny says, what are your thoughts on taking action, doing the work versus relaxing and letting it happen? And Jenny, I love you so much. I happen to know you. So I know that a big part of your manifesting is you love the flow. You love the relaxed part. You love the vibrating with the universe. You love the God do your part kind of thing. And you're so good at that. And I do have to say that this is going to look different for everyone. We're all oriented differently, but you still do the work. You still do your part. Like, I've watched you create a course. I've watched you build your social media presence. Like, you still do the work. But let me just tell you what it's like for me. Not that this has to be anyone's answer, but here's what it's like for me. Hustle can be flow, and binge watching Netflix can be flow, as long as it comes from a place of me following my desires and knowing what I need. So sometimes I look like a mad woman when I'm launching. but it doesn't always feel exhausting. It doesn't always feel crazy. Sometimes it just feels like doing what it takes to get what I want. And there's so much grace in it, and there's so much ease in it, and there's so much divine guidance in it. And then after a launch, when I like don't work for 3 weeks or whatever, and I kind of feel like a lazy bum, that is kind of just part of what I've created for myself, so I can have my hustle fun flow and my rest travel fun flow, but it's all part of the flow for me. I don't know that there's an answer for everyone other than be really connected to what you want. Make sure you're doing the practical stuff, and then whatever relaxing and knowing it's yours looks like a lot of people stop working at a certain time every day. Some people really don't work on the weekends. I don't have any structure at all other than I try really hard to honor myself and what I need. I need to eat my vegetables and do my workout and get 8 hours of sleep, and sometimes stop working and let my team handle everything. And that's my flow, but it's evolved over time, right? I used to have a lot more willingness and a lot more energy to hustle because that's where I was at. And then I was like, this has to be more sustainable. And I integrated a lot more not working, right? Do you have anything to say about that, Andrea?
Yes, because you know that I just had to take several weeks off due to surgery. So that was, especially at the end of the year when you're pushing to like finish off some end of the year goals, that was very nerve-wracking for me. And this year really did, like, there were some goals that I felt some massive resistance, and I just changed my course in areas like that. And some goals just like fell into place. I did the work, I showed up, and shit just happened, and it felt so good. So towards the end of the year, this is the first time I've ever taken that much time off of my business, and that was scary for me because I still had this goal that I hadn't hit that was like a non-negotiable for me every single year. And I just knew I finally had to sit down and say, God, you're gonna have to show up for me here, because I know right now you want me to honor my body and you want me to honor my healing. And so if this is meant to be, all the work that I've done this year is just going to flow through this time. And guess what? I had all these incredible people in my community that were showing up and helping me. When I couldn't show up to help with a call, you know, one of my friends did. When I couldn't shave my legs, like Rachel offered to shave my legs. Like there were just like this outpouring of people that says, what can we do for you? And at the end of the year, like the last thing that I was doing was just like tying up little loose ends as you and I were on our way to Sedona. And I just finally like surrendered like in front of you. And I was like, this is going to be finished by the time we're done eating lunch. And I put my phone away, and we had this awesome, incredible lunch. And then I picked up my phone at the end of the lunch, and the last little thing in order to hit that goal was done. And it was so much surrendering. Yes, I had to do a lot of work to build up to that point. So I laid the foundation. But there was a point where I truly had to sit back and rest and honor my body and honor healing and trust that like God was going to have my back. And he did some massive heavy lifting on my behalf in that time. And I honestly like really have to say like my faith was a huge factor in hitting a goal like that. Like just crazy things happen that I can't even explain.
1,000,000%. Because here's what I think we do sometimes when we don't take the time to step back and relax and trust that we've made the right decisions. And I remember I had a client once, and I wanted to punch her in the face because she was in the middle of an affiliate launch, and there were some things she really needed to do. And I was like, okay, you're going to do this and this and this and this today. And this is like, we were just so clear on what the strategic action was. And then I talked to her the next day, and she's like, I took a nap instead. It's not that you take a nap instead. It's that you do the work and then you take a nap. Like you still always do your part. But once you've done your part, yes, chill the fuck out and loosen your grip. In the money course, I say, oh, I just lost my video. In the money course, I say, hold on loosely. Like, be clear on what you want, be focused on it, but not gripping it and strangling it so that there's no room for it to come in differently than you thought. You know what I'm saying? We got to let go sometimes.
Yes.
And our work continue forward.
If you're in this constant state of like dis-ease where you're like clenching and you know, frustrated and like all these like really low vibrations, you're really actually blocking it from happening sooner. And that's been at least my experience.
Yeah.
And you can tell by your body language. Like if your muscles are all of a sudden are really tense and like your facial features look like you really just want to cut a bitch, you know, like that's a time. And I've done that so many times. Me and my assistant, like I'll look at her and I'll be like, let's go for a walk. And she's like, yeah, she can tell, she can feel the tension in the room. And we just leave. We get up and we leave and we go get fresh air and we change our environment and we take in some awesome oxygen. I try to do a walk in the middle of my day every single day, just to pull myself away, give myself an opportunity to look at things a little bit more creatively. Because when you're so close to something, when you're just working so hard and feverishly on something, it's hard to see clearly and it's hard to see the easiest way. And sometimes you do things a little bit harder when sometimes there's just an easier, better option, but you've got to give yourself a little space. You really have to just learn to reflect on how you're feeling though.
And stay as much of the time as possible, stay in a place of feeling good, right? And then you're an energetic match for more good shit. I mean, we do a lot of things to make things happen fast. We do a lot of things to make things happen like strategically and la 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 la. But wouldn't that be like one of the biggest lessons? Like whatever you feel like is what you attract more of. So learn how to change your thoughts and learn how to change your environment and get yourself feeling better more of the time, right?
If you can learn to, this is like my favorite tip for myself, is when I'm at a point where I need to hustle and I need to get a lot done, I make a game for myself. I back it up into small increments. And then kind of like what we're doing for you, or I guess I did the same thing for the vision board party. I was like, okay, I want to bring 1,000 people in. Just personally through me for this vision party, I just want to help 1,000 people get connected to this awesome information. And I started promoting, like 5 days ago. So I started looking, I was like, this is a game. So I was like, okay, 300, okay, 400, okay, 500, 600, 700. Like I was just like this big party in my own office, party of one. Except for when I was harassing Amanda, because I, for whatever reason, need to tell people, like, I made it to the secret. I just need to like celebrate myself with someone. So I'm sending her little memes of like that song, All I Do Is Win. Today. She was so busy today. She's probably like, this bitch, could you please stop messaging me? But I was like,
I didn't feel that way, but I was really busy today. It was a crazy idea.
But I made it a game. I'm just like, I need people to get this information. I need people to just like grasp these concepts, because I know how good it feels to get to the end of the year and be like, I did awesome shit. And I also know how it feels to get to the end of the year and feel like it's another year wasted, another year I wasn't good enough, another year where I didn't hit my goals. And I did see someone ask the question, do you always hit all of your goals that you set for yourself? And I don't always hit all of my goals. Sometimes I change what I want. And I could do that tomorrow. Like the shit that I have on my vision board, I could throw the whole thing away and be like, I don't really want that today.
And you're allowed to do that. Can we say that you're allowed to change your mind? You're allowed to change your mind. When I set out to travel in whatever month in July, I thought I would travel for 2 years. And 5 months in, I'm like, okay, I really want a home. And so it went from, I think I'll travel full-time to 2 years. So I traveled full-time for 5 months. And now I think I want to travel maybe three weeks of every quarter, whatever. Like I'm allowed to change it. Like it's not written in stone. Like we're allowed to change our mind. The point is knowing that you can have anything you want, that there are no limits for you, that you make the rules. There's nothing out there saying that you can't have any of the things you want, right? And yes, you can change it. The universe will get behind you when you change it.
I just encourage you to check yourself and ask, did the desire really change, or are you changing it because you're fearful?
Yeah. Do you think you can't have it, so you're changing it, or do you just really not want that anymore? Yeah.
Right. Two completely different things.
Yeah. Does it just not feel good anymore? Did you accomplish the thing you wanted to accomplish? Did you learn the lesson you're trying to learn, or yeah, are you just wimping out? Because we're not fans of wimping out. We won't get behind you on that one. Yeah. Did I accomplish everything in my 2016 board? No, but I accomplished the big things and I got a whole lot closer on my path to the things I didn't. And I really don't view anything as any kind of failure. I just feel like I'm continuing on with the things I don't have yet, right? I'm getting clearer. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the internal work. I'm doing the external work. Like, I'm a big fan of the practical and spiritual combined, being an incredible force. And like, I'm just still going. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have how would you or could you remove a block around money? That's so funny because we've been on an hour and 15 minutes, so this is probably an appropriate thing to say. So I have a 3-part training called How to Break Through Your Money Blocks. And if you click this button that says Get on the Money Mentality Makeover Wait List, there's a 3-part training called How to Break Through Your Money Blocks. There is a Manifest the Cash Money meditation, the Wealthy Woman meditation. There's the biblical support for money resource list, all the Bible verses that support wealth, because a lot of people have to rework through some of their programming from different spiritual backgrounds. There is, what else is in that? There's just a ton. Oh, there's the Earning with Ease webinar, which is normally you have to pay to get. It's normally $47. So if anyone wants more resources on manifesting money, more free resources, if you get on the Money Mentality Makeover wait list, you get tons of resources. If you want the course, you also get $200 off the course for being on that list during my pre-sale later this month. But even if you don't want the course and you don't want the $200 off, you don't want anything like that, the resources are still sent to you the second you sign up there. Got it? So
resources are so valuable. So if you guys
did you look at them? Did you look at that? Did you look at that page?
Your shit whatever. Your shit is legit. That is a tongue twister.
It's the same, the resource page I made for your people from your retreat. It's adapted from that. What I made for your people is what I ended up using. I just added a few more things for that. So you've seen this resource list.
Yeah.
It's so good. So I can riff on breaking through your blocks around money, though. I mean, I think the videos go more in depth. So I think if that's where you're stuck, I would do those videos. But what I would say right now is just that there are no true limits around money. Like we said earlier, money is not good or bad. It's a neutral resource. And there's no reason you can't have what you want. And all the ideas that say you can't have it are not true. We have to disprove those. So I don't think there's any one magic thing that breaks through a block. For me, it's learning to think differently and learning to see differently and writing out a new story and believing my new story and affirming my new story and acting as if my new story is true and feeling the feelings of already receiving the new story. And then the block is a thing in ancient history, in my opinion. And there's also that for some really deep-rooted things. I mean, a great prayer is always, God, how would you have me remove this limiting belief, this block, this crazy idea? I'm willing to see things differently and seeing what inspired action comes forth, seeing what you're led to. You may have prayed for help around money and then you were led right here, right? But seeing like what you're led to, what you stumble upon. I had a client yesterday stuck on a very specific thing, and then she found like a meditation or a talk that someone gave like 6 years ago, like on Spotify. And she's like, it answered the question I needed. But when she asked me what the question was, I don't know everything. I said, I don't know the answer to that, but I know the answer is out there for you. Why don't we ask for help? And then she was led right to her help. Does that make sense? That's one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you, is that you're being led and guided all the time. Begin to trust yourself and you'll be brought to everything you need.
So what I'm going to do too is in the Facebook group, the virtual vision board party planning group, I'm going to type those questions that I mentioned earlier that I had written down when Amanda was at her retreat. What do you want? How would it feel when you got it? What are the reasons it won't work? Are they true? Disprove them. Just like that whole process, I'll type that into the Facebook group, because you guys can just if you guys took one thing away from today, that one little piece could change your life. Like, from one, side of the coin to the other. It can be completely different. If you just use that every time you start to want something new and you have a block come up, you can start to disprove that block.
1,000,000%. Yeah. Yeah, and it is worth what it is worth. That's so worth it. My experience is that if you can change your mind around money, you can change your mind around anything. Like,
yes, money's the hardest thing.
We're all so blocked around money, right? So in module 4 of the money course, I'm like, hi, welcome to module 4. If you haven't noticed, I told you I got you to sign up for this course by telling you I'd teach you how to manifest money, but really I just need you to know how to take power over your mind in any area, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things. Don't you think that when you change your mind around anything, your experience of that thing changes. So if you change your mind around money, your experience of receiving money changes. And I've been doing interviews with people who've taken the money course all day because I'm about to create like a commercial. So, but what they all said over and over again was that you taught me how to think differently. You taught me how to see things differently. You taught me how to expect differently. And you told me it could be done with ease. You told me it could be done with grace and ease. And you told me it could be done now. And I believed you, right? We make the rules. When we decide that things work differently, cosmic forces team up with us and things work differently.
That was one thing that I learned through the money course that I love too, is like, it doesn't have to be hard. I was this compulsive, like, I'm a hustler. I know how to work hard. Like, I just grew up with that hard work, good work ethic mentality, but I always thought that it had to be hard. And when you and I started connecting and I started plugging into the money course and all the stuff that you teach, I'm like, holy shit, this doesn't have to be hard. This can be so easy and it can feel good. That doesn't mean without effort. It doesn't mean don't show up and do your part like we've been saying this whole time, but it doesn't have to be hard. And I was so addicted to hard. I thought that was like the only way to get anything of true substance or value was just through this like grunt hustle work. And I realized, oh my gosh, I can sleep 8 hours a night and still build the business of my dreams.
And probably even build it faster because you're rested, right? So your brain's in a better place, your body's in a better place. Yeah, no, 1,000,000%. Yeah. I mean, says who? That's always my thing when people are like, isn't building a business really hard? I'm like, says who? And in my experience, it has a lot more to do with increasing my confidence and changing my limiting beliefs than it does with like hard work. Like, yes, there's effort, but I don't think that's why I'm successful. You know what I mean? I'm always willing to do the internal work. I think that has more to do with it than anything. I'm always willing to change my mind and expect the best and ask for help and take my steps, you know?
I think like, and especially going back to what you said, like money specifically is one of those things that we tend to have the biggest and deepest roots when it comes to our blocks. And if you guys did this work around money to release those limiting beliefs and to start to change your mind and to believe that you can have it all if you want it, like maybe your big desire is just to have consistently $50,000 of income. That's okay. Like it doesn't have to be multi-millions of dollars. Like whatever desire God places in your heart is for you and you should own it and feel good about it. Like it's totally cool that we're both gonna have very different visions for our life. But if you can start to remove the blocks of like why you can't have it and start to, you know, allow money to flow easier into your life, you can allow anything to flow easier into your life. Your relationships can flow better, your career, ideas, inspiration, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like the hardest and deepest roots are those money blocks. If you guys can get rid of those bitches, and I feel like you're gonna be removing one after another for probably your whole life, right? Like,
yeah, it just gets easier. In my experience, it gets easier, you know, like the process I kind of taught myself and refined like in the course is still the process I use today. I can just now kind of get through it in like 10 minutes. I can go, what's limiting belief? Is that true? What's more true? You know, really fast. And people typically tell me when they take the course, they spend like a few hours on the homework, like maybe an hour and a half each week. But then after you do it a couple times, I would say, yeah, you learn how to change your mind really quickly because you know that we're not obligated to believe our thoughts. We know our thoughts aren't always telling us the truth, right? And when that becomes a core belief, you know, like you can change your mind.
So one thing that I forgot to mention that I clearly had underlined several times in my notebook, but I'm also typing into the post and posting it right now in the Facebook group if you guys want access to that immediately, was the last little element that you had us do all together was to actually just close your eyes and feel it. So take the thing that you want, and this is what I was kind of doing in the beginning with my dream house. Like I can already feel exactly the emotions that are going to be running through my body when I open that door for the first time of this house that's mine. I already know exactly how that's going to feel. If you guys can do that work and like, how's it going to feel when, you know, I'm sitting next to my husband because you're trying to manifest a man, like, and we're, you know, planning our dreams together. How's it going to feel when I have my first, you know, $1,000 week or $10,000 month or whatever? How's it going to feel? How's it going to feel when you are standing on a stage for the first time, if maybe your goal is to be a speaker or a singer or an actor or whatever? Like, feel the fuck out of it right now. because
I
the
agree.
more often, if you can wake up every single morning, and your subconscious is actually the most pliable in the first 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes of your day. So if you spent just 20 minutes a day, those first 10 and the last 10, closing your eyes and feeling the fuck out of that, the universe has no choice but to send it hurtling towards you, as long as you're taking the steps forward.
Totally. And yeah, and the universe isn't mad at you, right? Like we think that like God's gonna be mad at us for wanting more. In my experience, when I decide I want more and I really own it, I feel that the whole universe gets behind me and God's cheering and a chorus of angels are singing, right? Like I feel like that's just a crazy lie that we've been taught, that like God is gonna be mad. We can be really grateful for everything we have and ready to take it to the next level, like simultaneously, you know?
Yes, I love that you bring it. Like, God is not trying to punish you. God wants you to win. Like, He wants you to win more than you want you to win.
Yeah.
And Amanda knows like I'm slightly crazy because I like high five the air because I'm like, hey, spiritual team. Like I always just believe that I'm being supported with like a spiritual team and angels, and they always have my back, and God always has my back. He always has me supported with like the universal needs. And so I'm like constantly going like this, high fiving air.
She high fives angels. We can't even make that up.
I know it sounds crazy, but I just believe that I'm so supported, and God is my biggest cheerleader, and He so wants me to win. And so I sit here like a little crazy person. I'm like, high five, guys. We really killed it today. Like, and it just feels
I call them Team Amanda Francis, and I talk to them. I'm with you. I don't think you're crazy at all. I don't think you're crazy. So good. Okay, so what else do we need to tell these people? We gave you a lot of resources. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make this really easy on you guys. Right here is this year's fun sheet, and here's the Calling in the Cash Money meditation, and here's the digital vision board training and the Money Mentality Makeover wait list, that if you get on it, you'll get $200 off the course and a ton of money manifesting resources right now. So get on that. But Andrea has a fun sheet from last year that she wants you to have. And I think last year's vision board training is super good. So I think the easiest way to get everything to you is I'm just going to send you the watch page for last year's party, where you can get last year's fun sheet. You can watch last year's vision board party, and you can have all the free stuff we gave last year too. Then you just get a ton of free shit.
So I feel like I just got hit with some inspiration of something that I need to share. I don't know who it's for, but if this is for you, then it's for you. But have you ever said to yourself over and over and over, why does this keep happening? Whether it's like a technical issue, whether it's a customer service issue, whether it's like the human resources issue, whether it's a team issue, like, why does nobody get this but me? Why does this keep happening? Why do these people always, like, if you catch yourself saying, like, I don't even know why I'm saying it in that voice, it's just coming out that way right now. So, but and I guess I've done that previously in my business in the beginning, because for me, in a business like mine, I'm in network marketing. And so I can't grow a huge, successful, multi-six-figure business on my own. That takes a team. So I have to be helping duplicate success and helping other people succeed. And so I remember in the beginning when I was very frustrated, I used to always say, like, nobody gets this but me. And that was the vibration that I was sending out to the universe. And that's exactly what I got back. And so as soon as I started checking myself and saying, what am I always getting back? If I'm constantly getting like customer service issues or technology issues, like maybe when we're not in a retrograde, then I know like there's some kind of vibration. Like Amanda had to check my ass the other day. She's like, you're in a vibration of frustration. And I was like, you're right. And as soon as I changed that frustration, I just meditated on completeness and wholeness. And like, I really raised my personal feelings. Shit started flowing, shit started popping very quickly within 60 minutes of that meditation. So I'm sharing this for you guys. If you're constantly saying any one thing, maybe something that maybe just flew out of my mouth, I don't know, you have to check yourself, because you're getting back exactly what you're putting out. Whatever you're a perfect energetic match for. So check your energy.
You're totally right. What do you think the affirmation or the new thought is for no one gets this besides me? I'm always attracting people who get it. Like I'm always attracting, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't get it out of my mouth, but someone needed to hear that.
No, and it's good. Like, I'm always attracting people who get it. I always have the best customer service person. I'm personally wanting to make sure I know how to counter this. I'm always bringing in team members that are well advanced in how we take care of our customer service. Do you hear me affirming my life right now? Do you have anything for me other than those?
I don't know. For me, like my core, like deep rooted belief is that I'm always connected to, like, I just have a wide variety of incredibly talented people always within fingertips length, or within arm's reach. Like I always have, or I'm at least like one connection away from the person that I need to make something happen and make something move forward. So I get a compliment all the time of like, wow, you have really rad friends. And I'm like, I know, like I just
manifested them.
I manifested really cool people. Like I know the most insane photographer. I know the most insane money teacher. I know the most insane website designer. I know the most insane like book writers. And like I just have this wide network of people that are just insanely talented in their own rights, where if I ever need to call on someone, to get support in an area, like I have that really deep rooted belief, and that network is always growing and expanding. And
I always say that I always have the right people at the right time. I think I'm going to change it to I always have the best and most talented and most fabulous and best fitting people at the right time. I'm going to up that. I'm going to up that affirmation. So good. Okay, let me refresh this page and see if any new questions have come in. If you guys have any burning desires, anything you want to say to us, please say it now, and then we'll meditate. And Andrea's posting some things in the group, and I'm going to send you an email with some resources from last year.
Who was that for? If I just said that statement and it was for you, will you just comment and be like, dude, thank you? I'm curious. I'm so curious. Like it could maybe be 5 people and maybe it's only one person, but that was for someone that's listening right now specifically. I want to know who.
Totally.
Or you can message me if you don't want to, out yourself, you can send me a message.
Okay, thank you for these incredible convos. It's so needed. I greatly appreciate your positivity and continuous inspiration by being yourselves. Oh, thank you for the love and value you provide. Try to find the positive and the negative. Yes. This is so awesome. Thank you so much. I'm ready to grow my business and become debt-free. Hold on. We just want to give you a little tweak. Andrea actually said this the other day. It's fresh on my mind. Do you remember the other day when you said, how much better does the word financial freedom feel than the word no more debt, right? Like even the word debt feels shitty. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, it's a low vibration word, and you're focusing on what you don't want. So when you say debt free, your subconscious is hearing debt, 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 debt. When you switch it to financial freedom, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, so switch it to something other than the word debt that feels really, really good for you. Unlimited abundance, financial freedom, blah, 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 right? Find something very positive words. What's the Facebook group? Never mind, they found the Facebook group. The Facebook group is called what? In the email that you got when you signed up, there's a link to the Facebook group. If you can't find it, I will write it here right after we get done. I'll write it in the comments right after we get done. Or Andrea, if you can grab it and add it to the comments.
Yeah, it's virtual vision board party, or virtual vision board planning party. That's a tongue twister.
It is. Can you grab the link and put it? Yeah. We'll get it in the comments for y'all. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I found that the right things tend to flow easily, especially recently. In the past, I've hustled hard and made some money. It's sometimes hard to tell when it's trying to force the issue and it's good hustle. Good hustle feels good. Good hustle feels good. Good hustle feels good. Bad hustle feels bad. Got it? Yeah. Totally just had to learn the surrender portion the hard way. My body forced me to stop. Yeah, you got the flu, homegirl. You stay in bed and then come back and stay in flow. Any tips for preventing yourself from comparing yourself to others? Where are you are at compared to where others are at? I really have a hard time with that. Multiple things. So, in my belief system, there's more than enough to go around, and the world needs us all. And there's people that need me and my unique personality and my unique gifts and skill set and what I'm oriented toward. And it doesn't matter if a million other people are calling themselves money teachers. The world needs me to teach it in my way, right? So that's my whole deal with. There's no reason for comparison, right? Like Gabby Bernstein always says, there's more people that need help than there are people currently helping, and I totally think that's true. There's room for us all to do great work and do it in our own unique way. And when we really step into it, not trying to look like anyone else, that's when we really shine and elevate. But when you try to mimic someone or look at someone or do what worked for someone else, we often kind of fall on our face, right? It doesn't feel good. It doesn't flow. It doesn't elevate us.
100%. Okay, so Alexa and Andrea, they both commented and they're like, that was for me. I knew someone listening needed that.
So good. Do you revisit your vision board?
Sorry, I said the A word and my digital A person was responding.
Huh?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I got
Alexa. Wait.
They said Alexa, and she's like,
Alexa, can you hear me? Sorry.
Hello. Tell her to order you something from Amazon. It's my favorite thing to do.
Alexa, send me coconut oil. I just ran out. That's real life. I did just run out. Okay. I have something else for you guys. Speaking of coconut oil, I have a resource page I can share with you that's brand new, and it's all the tools I use in my business, my lighting, my microphone, my favorite coconut oil, my favorite calendar, my favorite email provider. So I'm going to send you guys that too when I email you out more things. We're just giving you all kinds of good shit. Okay. Anything else we need to hit on or cover? Oh, have you already shared your word for the year? Do we want to talk about, I know it's the very end, but do we want to talk about picking words for the year to help us stay focused or desired feelings for the year like Danielle Laporte teaches or anything like that?
My word for the year is easy, just because like I went from that compulsive, addicted to hard personality. And so I just decided like, I'm going to really focus on easy. Again, that doesn't mean don't show up and don't do the work. But if I'm hitting massive resistance, that's a huge cue for me to ask if there's a better way, to just stop and like pray for guidance. Is there a better way to do this? Because if it feels really like you're trying to swim up a waterfall, there's always a better way. And so that's my word for this year. And someone asked, like, how do you pick your word? And for me, I went through a ton of words where I'm like, that sounds good. That sounds good. As soon as I said the word easy, I felt the fuck out of it. I'm like, yes, this is my word. So there's a lot of emotional energy behind that word for me.
And I think that's a theme to everything you and I both teach, is there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. There's the moment when you know that it clicks. That's how I teach my clients to set their prices. When the price clicks and you're like, oh, I would feel supported for that amount and I wouldn't feel like I'm overcharging. Or like when the word clicks or when the anything clicks, like you really can go through a process of trusting yourself. Okay, so last year was different for me. I mean, and my astrologist has explained this to me clearly, but last year I kind of showed up in 2016 ready for 2016. And this year I feel like I'm slowly entering into 2017. So I knew my words mid-December last year. And, you know, here we are. It's the 12th and I feel like I'm getting clear on my words. But I started to riff on them today and I have like connected, immersed, deeply in love, expanded, expanding my reach. Deep, real, heartfelt connections, immersed in awe and love. Immersed in life and love and work, deeply connected, deeply connected. I wrote deeply connected several times. It was really resonating, in tune. So last year my words were at home, and I traveled a lot, but I wanted to feel at home in my body. I wanted to be my own home, right? And in love, more deeply in love with life. And I think I'm just going to continue that one because I still want that. And expansion. And I really expanded my business. And this year, it's not quite the same. I want expansion, but I want to expand like my reach. I want to expand like my audience. I want to expand my impactfulness, not just my students, but just my overall like presence, right? And I don't really have a word that's encompassing that yet, so I'm playing with my words. But deeply connected for me really resonates with, I want to connect to the town I decide to live in. I want to connect with the house I decide to buy. I want to connect with my friends in deeper ways. I want to connect with the man friend, obviously, but I want intimacy to be deeply increased, right? I worked on my business for a long time, and throughout this past year, I worked on upping my balance between business and life and love and having fun. And I want to continue my connections. So I'm sitting with deeply connected, and I'm figuring out a word for expansion, and I'm figuring out something to really symbolize the kind of home. Because I see myself not buying an investment property. I see myself buying a safe haven and a retreat and a place to nestle and curl up in. And I don't really have my feelings. I'm getting there. I'm ready to vision board it. but I'm not super clear on my words yet, you know?
So I did a similar thing. Like my number one word of the year is easy, but I'll show you guys my vision board. Can you see that?
I can't believe we're just now showing your vision board at the end. Everyone who's still watching, here's the vision board. Oh, it's pretty.
We had a lot of good content. And so I actually drew this out first, and then I wanted to create it digitally just for tonight so I could show you guys, because the pencil paper version wasn't very visible. But for me, like the pencil paper vision really inspires me, and that's probably where it's going to get framed. But obviously my word is easy. I believe it could be easy. I can believe it can be easy. And so that's like my affirmation of the year. But some other words that really I feel very connected to, especially this one right here, elevate. So I want to lead with heart. I want to lead my business with heart, with desire, knowing like God put that desire there. I can trust in that, and it's really going to serve the world. But the word elevate to me has so much personal meaning behind it that I close my eyes and I have this vision of me helping other people rise up, and me helping other people's brands be seen, and other people's voices being heard, and really just being that sounding board or that foundation or that platform for people to step up and over me. I just deeply want people to have, even if it's just a taste of the freedom and the joy that I get to wake up with every day. It is my non-negotiable show the fuck up with this massive sense of excitement and passion and urgency to help other people have at least a taste of that, if not all of what I have, and if not more than what I have. So that is another word that, while my word is easy, and easy is actually going to be the foundation of that word, it's going to be easy for me to elevate other people, because the people who are ready to rise the fuck up are already on their way, or they're already in my network right now. So that word is something I'm really passionate about. And then I have a podcast launching for the first time ever.
Yay.
So yeah, I'm really excited. February 1st or 2nd, we should be launching that. I'm co-hosting with Rachel Luna, if you guys know who that is. It's going to be called Babes, Business, and Booze. It is very taboo. We're going to be talking about all the topics that everybody thinks about and laughs about in their own head or as they're going through their Facebook newsfeed, but nobody's willing to say out loud in public. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of like hot topics. It doesn't matter whether you're in business for yourself, like if you're just an ambitious person in nature, it's going to be pretty much exclusively targeted towards women. We put booze in there just because it's like really about like what the fuck ever type of, like, we're going to say, if you're willing to say it when you're drunk, we're going to say it sober on the podcast.
Or you might be drunk sometimes. I mean,
or maybe we'll both be drunk. Yeah. A little splash of vodka in my kombucha. Who knows? But
I've never mixed vodka and kombucha, but that's so good.
What? Oh my God. You guys are missing out. It's like you get your probiotics and your potatoes at the same time. It's like probiotics and vegetables. It's a
Stop. Stop. I can't. Like, I literally can't. Okay. That's too much. Yeah. So good, guys. Okay. If there's any burning desire, anything else, this is the last chance. We're getting really close to 2 hours. So we can take anything that comes through right now. And then I think we should meditate. I'm going to refresh the page.
I have a couple tips I'm going to give you guys. I know that if you have big, ambitious goals, one of the biggest things that gets in your way is energy. Number one, you have to commit to yourself, sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. I don't care how hard that is for you to get in, make it a priority. You need to stay hydrated as fuck, because if you're dehydrated, you're going to be very, very tired, and you need to do some good quality breathing exercises and take a couple breaks. Especially if you're crazy ambitious, it's so easy to work for like 10 hours straight, but you will be so much more productive if like once every hour you took a 5-minute break just to refresh your mind. You will increase your productivity probably about 30%. So those are just a few tips for you guys to increase productivity and your energy this year, and you'll be happier.
Yeah, amen. Like, take care of yourself. Yeah, that's not the easiest thing for me. I'm actually kind of really bad at it sometimes. But take care of yourself. I mean, today I was sitting here feeling grumpy. I had all these interviews, and I was about to needing to do this, and I was trying just to close my eyes for a little bit. And I went, you haven't eaten or taken a shower, right? So obviously I felt better after I ate and took a shower. Like, I don't even know. It's sometimes those simple things are such mood boosters.
Mm-hmm. Man, if I could just get all my calories liquid, that would be.
I feel that way all the time. I don't think that's normal. I don't think most people think that. I really, really think that if it was just sat around for me in bottles, but I need it, not like juice cleanse, like protein smoothies at least, I would get it all in my body. But I don't want to stop working to eat. It's the stupidest thing.
I know. I was just saying that to Nicole today. I'm like, oh my God, food is such an inconvenience.
Unless it's a day off or a time off, and like we ate a lot of food in Sedona and it never felt like an inconvenience.
No, that was a whole different story. But that was intentional, like really, truly rest and relaxation. It felt amazing. That was really fascinating. Okay, do we have any other?
So click on all your links. Make sure you get all of this good stuff. The meditation for growling and the cash money, I get rave reviews and emails about that all the time. Watch Andrea's digital vision board training. If you feel kind of lost on how to make a vision board on your computer, you can print it out and hang it. You can put it on your screen. You can do whatever you want with it. You have one fun sheet there. There's the Money Mentality Makeover wait list. Like I said, you get $200 at least, maybe more off the course when you get on that wait list, and you get a ton of money manifesting resources. And I'm going to send you an email with last year's vision board party and the other fun sheet that Andrea made you guys last year. So you're getting so much good shit. Let us know if you need anything. You can email assistant@amandafrancis.com if you need anything from me. Andrea?
I'm always on Facebook. So just like start tagging me in the vision board party group. Like Facebook is kind of where I connect with people the most, not email. I know it probably should actually be backwards. I was
that way for a long. I did that for you. I've only recently switched to the assistant email, like recently.
Yeah. So tag us at least tag me in the Facebook. I'm constantly in there. I'll be in there for probably at least another like hour or two tonight. And so if you guys have questions, like if you guys have vision boards, post up your vision boards. If you guys are working on them right now, post in progress. Like we want to see what's going on. I'm happy to answer questions, give you guys guidance as you're creating those. Or just like celebrate the fuck out of it with you. If you just want someone to like pray over your vision board with you, got you there, got you covered 100%.
Please share your vision boards with us. A lot of people did that last year and it was kind of amazing. Yes, share your vision boards with us 100%. I will also send you guys the links to Andrea's private Facebook group, The Spiritual Girl Millionaire, and mine, Spiritual Badass Boss Lady. And because we're both inside of our groups throughout the week. So, we'll be in the vision board party in the vision board group for the next few weeks. But even after that, there's other ways to be able to ask us questions throughout the weeks and months and whatever. So I'll get you guys links to that too.
And if you guys don't already follow me on Facebook, I probably spend the most of my time on my personal page. So you guys can go click the follow button. I'm getting close to maxing out as my friends list. But if you click the follow button and you want me to follow you back, just send me a message and I'll go and click your follow button as well.
Yeah. Me too. Okay. Actually, can you give them both of our Facebook pages in the comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Mine's easy. It's facebook.com/message Andrea.
Oh, I'm going to type that right now. Facebook.com/message Andrea. How cute are you? Okay. Post. And then mine is Facebook.com/Amanda Francis. And Facebook.com. Yeah, either fine. Okay, cool. And I'll get them the links to our groups. Yay! I feel like I stayed connected to a lot of people from the party last year throughout the year. I'm so excited.
I did hundreds of you. I still stay connected. We comment on each other's stuff all the time. It's so much fun.
Yeah, super good. Okay, let's meditate. So everyone who's left with us, some people kind of phased out, but we have like 100. We still have a lot of people here with us. So everyone sit up straight. Close your eyes, rolling your eyes in and up, and begin to take big, long, deep breaths in through your nose, and exhale, release. Breathing in, holding at the top, release. And just take a minute to center into your body, to just be here right now, to allow yourself to be calm and clear and let everything else go. Moving and stretching in any ways you need to move and stretch. Breathing as much as you need to breathe. And just being in this moment. And take a minute to feel your feelings. Take a minute to feel what it would be like for your dreams to already be yours. See yourself in that house or driving that car or on that stage or playing with your kids during the day or creating the product you believe in or having 100 billion followers on Facebook or whatever it is for you. See it and feel it. How would it feel if it was already true? Would you feel excited, abundant, wealthy, free? Feel it in your body. And know that anything that's coming up right now that's telling you that that can't be yours, that is nothing but guidance, that is nothing but an indication of something you need to work through. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't mean you're meditating wrong. It's just something that you're going to come back to and look at later. So let's just acknowledge that negative thought now. Thank you, negative thought, for trying to warn us and protect us. And now let's go back to feeling the good feelings of what it will be to have everything we want. Feeling feelings of love, feelings of support, feelings of ease, feelings of rest, feelings of wholeness, feelings of health. Taking a moment to acknowledge that every single thing we want can be ours in this lifetime. We are not limited by anything. And I would like to ask all the divine guidance and cosmic forces, God, angels, universe, whatever you call it, whatever you believe in, to team up with each of these women as they begin to walk out the path of these dreams coming true. Bring them what they need, bring them the inspiration, bring them the guidance. As they do their part, please do the parts that only you can do. We know that we will be led. We know we will, and we trust. Thank you for being on our side. Thank you for always having our back. Thank you for being here with us now. You've seen what we want. You heard our prayers, and we release it to you. And taking as many big, long, deep breaths as you need. Letting it go, knowing it's yours, knowing that every step will come to you. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yay!
Did you see the cup that Jeremy brought my tea in?
You brought your tea in while we were meditating?
No, this was before.
Oh. Today I will manifest some cool ass shit. Oh, he's so sweet that he brings you tea in the theme of the webinar.
He branded my tea.
That was so good of him. Okay, guys, we mean it. Ask us questions in the Vision Board Party group. We'll come hang out. Get in touch with either of us when you need anything. You know how to reach us, and I'm going to send you some really good free resources right now. Okay, we love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye.